Port days are where more cruises get ruined than at sea. Missed ships' medical bills, lost money, stolen items, wasted hours, and none of it feels obvious until it's too late. Cruise lines market port days as freedom days, but they quietly leave out the rules, risks, and pressure points that can turn a perfect stop into the most stressful day of your entire trip. If you watch this in order, you'll move through port days like an insider. You'll get off faster. You'll spend less. You'll avoid the traps that catch first-timers and repeat cruisers alike. And you'll always make it back to the ship without panic. This is Shipverse. And this is the phase-by-phase checklist cruise lines won't warn you about on port days, but expect you to figure out the hard way. Do not skip ahead. Every phase protects the next. Phase 1 Port Day Reality Check. Reset your expectations before you step off the ship. Step 1. Understand who port days are really designed for. Mentally separate cruise marketing from port reality before you disembark. Why it matters? Cruise lines make money on excursions, shopping partnerships, and time control, not on your freedom. What goes wrong if skipped? You follow crowds, blindly overpay, and assume safety nets that don't exist once you leave the pier. If a port feels overly polished right at the exit, it's usually designed to keep you spending close, not exploring smart. Step 1 and accept that once you leave the ship, you're on your own. Treat port days as independent travel, not cruise managed time. Why it matters outside of ship-sponsored excursions, the cruise line is not responsible for delays, injuries, or missed returns. What goes wrong if skipped? People assume help will come if something goes wrong, and it often doesn't. Port day rules are closer to flying internationally than being on a cruise. Once you step off, protections change instantly. Phase 20 time is not what you think. Prevent missed ships and rush disasters. Step 3Z. Learn the difference between ship time and local time. Confirm whether the ship stays on ship time or switches to local port time. Why it matters? This single misunderstanding causes more missed ships than almost anything else. What goes wrong if skip? You show up on time, according to your phone, and the ship is already leaving. Keep your watch or phone set to ship time until you are physically back on board. Step 40. Don't plan to return at all aboard. Time aim to be back at least 60 to 90 minutes before all aboard. Why it matters? Traffic, tender delays, weather, and port congestion are unpredictable. What goes wrong if skip? One small delay stacks into a missed sailing with zero mercy. The ship will leave without you. They do not wait ever. Phase 30, getting off the ship fast. Avoid losing half your port day before it starts. A Step 5, know if your port uses tenders or direct docking. Check the daily schedule the night before. Why it matters? Tender ports can add hours of waiting if you're not prepared. What goes wrong if skipped? You waste prime morning hours standing in lines while others are already ashore. Early tender tickets often go to excursion guests first. Independent explorers need a backup plan. Step 6, early or eat later. Never during peak rush. Adjust breakfast timing to avoid the rush window. Why it matters? Everyone tries to do the same thing at the same time. What goes wrong if skipped? You lose time twice. Once in the dining line, once getting off the ship. Grab something quick and get off early, or wait until crowds thin. Phase 40, excursions, the part they don't explain. Avoid overpaying and under-delivering. Step 7, understand why ship excursions feel safer. Decide consciously whether safety or flexibility matters more. Why it matters? Ship excursions are expensive because they guarantee the ship waits. What goes wrong if skipped? You book third-party tours without buffer time and assume protection you don't have. The ship will delay departure for its own excursions, not yours. Step 80, know what ship excursions don't tell you. Read the fine print before booking. Why it matters? Many excursions include forced shopping stops or rushed schedules. What goes wrong if skipped? You spend half your tour in a souvenir shop instead of the experience you paid for. Scenic tour often means long bus rides with short photo stops. Phase 5, money traps at port. Stop bleeding cash without realizing it. Step 9, never assume your onboard card works ashore. Carry small bills in local currency or widely accepted cash. Why it matters? Many ports rely on cash or add heavy card fees. What goes wrong if skipped? You overpay or get stuck unable to pay at all. Vendors often quote one price for cash and another for cards without telling you. Step 10, watch for port-only pricing tricks. Ask final prices before committing. Why it matters? Some ports inflate prices assuming cruise passengers won't return. What goes wrong if skipped? You pay double what locals pay every time. If a price isn't clearly posted, it's usually negotiable. Phase 6C, Safety realities: cruise lines don't discuss reduce risk without ruining your day. Step 11. Learn the safe zones. And the invisible lines: ask crew members which areas to avoid. Why it matters: not all danger is obvious or marked. What goes wrong if skip one wrong turn can change the tone of your entire day. Port workers know exactly where problems start. Listen to them. Step 12. Don't advertise that you're a cruise passenger. Dress down and blend in. Why it matters: cruise passengers are seen as easy targets. What goes wrong if skipped? You attract scams, theft, and aggressive selling. Pro tip: leave ship-branded lanyards in your cabin. Phase 70. Transportation mistakes: avoid delays that cascade into panic. Step 13. Be cautious with taxis and rides. Use officially marked transportation only. Why it matters: unregulated rides are common at ports. What goes wrong if skipped? Overcharging, detours, or unsafe vehicles. Always confirm return time expectations with drivers before leaving. Step 14. Build a return buffer. You refuse to break. Set a hard turnaround time for heading back. Why it matters: exploration expands, time shrinks. What goes wrong if skip just one more stop becomes a missed ship? Set an alarm for when it's time to head back and obey it. Phase 80. Food, drinks, and health. Avoid illness that ruins the rest of your cruise. Step 15. Be selective about what and where you eat. Choose busy, reputable spots. Why it matters: port day illness spreads fast on board. What goes wrong if skipped? You lose sea days recovering in your cabin. Ice and uncooked food are the most common triggers. Step 16. Hydration is not optional. Drink water constantly. Why it matters: heat, alcohol, and walking add up. What goes wrong if skipped? Dehydration sneaks up fast and hits hard. Bring a refillable bottle off the ship. Phase 90. Getting back on without stress in the day, cleanly, not chaotically. Step 17. Have documents ready before you reach the pier. Keep your ship card and ID accessible. Why it matters: security bottlenecks form fast near sailing time. What goes wrong if skip? You lose precious minutes fumbling in bags. Late arrivals get more scrutiny, not sympathy. Step 18. Expect last-minute surprises. Stay alert until you're fully on board. Why it matters: weather, security alerts, or delays can change procedures instantly. What goes wrong if skip? You assume you're basically back until you're not. The cruise day isn't over until you're past the scanner. Phase 10. Port day traps. To avoid lock in everything you just learned. Common mistakes that ruin port days: trusting your phone's time blindly, point to return at the last minute, overbooking activities with no buffer, carrying valuables you don't need, assuming help will arrive. Something goes wrong. Treating port days casually instead of strategically. Port days reward palm planning and punish assumptions.